Hey, amazing, and welcome back to our content creation corner, the bush episodes. Looks beautiful. Yeah, sometimes it's always too good for you to be in the bush, the fresh air around, everything. And you're just in alone with some wild animals, just in alone with some wild animals. And you're talking to the wild animals, telling them to get away from you. Like it's totally exercising the dominion over those wild animals because originally that is what a man was to do, exercise dominion over those wild animals or take care of God's creation. And taking care of God's creation, animals, wild animals are part of the God's creation that a human being wants to take care of. And yeah, the curious me, the me who likes doing things practically, yeah, I thought, why not? Let me go stay in the bush and try to put things into perspective. Let me see if I can control all these wild animals. Yesterday, the only thing that scared me while on another hill was a snake, but again, it went away. That is not what I want us to talk about today. What I want us to talk about today is our thoughts process, how to make a decision that you know it won't hurt you the next day or in future. We are living in a world where all of us are making decisions, or most of the people are making decisions, emotional decisions, or decisions that are full of feelings of what they feel now. But what they don't put into what they don't really think about would be, what about, what if what I've done today will affect me tomorrow, or how will it affect me tomorrow? As long as you've sorted your issue now and you feel much better today, you don't even give a thought of tomorrow. But that tomorrow is the main thing that we really need to look into, not the today. Because today, I'll say the past hour is gone because I had control over the past hour, and at least I can tell much about the past hour because it's gone already. But I can't tell about tomorrow because I am not there. I'm not there. I don't know how tomorrow will look like. I don't know if it will rain or not. I don't know if it will be too sunny or not. I don't know if it will be too dark or not. I'm not even sure if I'll see that day tomorrow. So that is what prompts us, should prompt a wise person to make more informed decision, trying to guard your tomorrow. So if you make a more informed decision, it's like you're kind of trying to guard your tomorrow, not to get yourself into a situation where you are not in control of the situation, but the situation is in control of you. That is what happens most of the time when we make more of emotional decisions. That something happens, then before you put everything into perspective to try to understand why whatever happened, the best thing you do is to, the reflex action is now, today, now I am, and I have to. And once you do that, you don't really think about what about tomorrow. What are the consequences of what I've done tomorrow? What are the consequences of what I've done in the next 1 month, 1 year, and all that? And that is why most of the time we get ourselves in fixed situations, because we never made informed decisions today. So the first thing is, when something happens that is so key in your life, before you react to it negatively or positively, because negative and positive, it also depends with whoever are involved in that situation. There are those who act on it depending on how they feel or whatever they've ever had, and pull over all things together and think this is the way it should be, but that is not them. One thing I want you to know is someone's experience is not your experience. Sometimes those experiences might look like they are same, it might look like they're the same, but there are some minute differences. Okay, if I say minute difference, I mean there are very small differences in those experiences that brings in the uniqueness in your experience from the other person's experience. So what the other person did when they went through whatever they went in might not be what you need to do when you're going through that situation, because your situation is much different from that person's situation. Or it might be the same situation, but just because it happened to that person last month and the decision they made got them out, it looks like it got them out in that 1 month, we are not so sure if that very decision that they made will work for them for the next 2 years or 3 years or 5 years or 10 years. So the best part of making such a decisions will be having a 5 a 5 year duration, like in the next 5 years, will I still be okay with the decision that I made over this subject? If you'll still be okay with the decision that you made in the duration in the duration of 5 years, then go ahead and make that decision. But if you in the next 1 year still feel that you made a wrong decision and you still need to revisit that thing, then don't make that decision. The kinds of people that you should be afraid of in life is the people who are ready to take responsibility of every action that they make. These are the people who have really planned themselves and who really understands what life is all about and what decision making process involves. You'll see something happens today, he doesn't talk about it. He gets himself some time to think and try to see how tomorrow it will. It will still happen the next day and they will still be quiet about that. And it will happen for a couple of time or a couple of days or months or years and they're still quiet about that. They're not saying anything. It's because they really want to understand, is what I saw on the first time when this thing happened the very thing that will happen again on the next time? And once these people have made a decision, they are not making a rushed decision in whatever matter. They have really looked and seen everything possible, how all these things have evolved from day one to that day they're making that decision. So when they go, they say that they are ready to take responsibility of every decision that they have taken, whether it will be good or bad for them. They are okay to take, because they have weighed the options of them staying or making that decision, not making that decision, and they feel like making that decision of whether buying that thing or not buying that thing is okay. They avoid the consequences, the positives and the negatives of doing that thing. And once they get to that, they feel like it's appropriate for me to make this decision to buy or not to buy. And that is why, even if you try to convince them either way, some of these people will not hearken to what you're telling them. It's because they fully understand why they are making that decision or why they have made that decision that they have made in whatever situation they're in. And if at all the decision that they made will be worse on them, they will still take that responsibility and say it's out of their own making and not anyone's influence in their decision making. Like nobody influenced them to make that decision. So they made their own decision, and that is why they are there. So they are going to take their own responsibility and not point a finger at any person, because no one influenced them. They sat down, they thought, they took a good thought process in all those things, and they went out, they sought all kind of information about it, and they made that decision, informed decision, knowing why they are making that decision. So these are the people who you rarely hear them talk about their own experiences. To them, it's, I made this decision with well informed and I'm okay with whatever happens to me and all that. I did not make a rash decision that I'm regretting if I knew I could have done it the other way around. By the way, saying that if I knew I could have made it the other way around is not a best way. It's not something that, it's regretting negatively is not good. But if you regret positively, accept and take responsibility of what you might have done wrong, that is good. But if you are regretting negatively, and instead of trying to make things right, you're trying to make it much worse by acting out of pain, acting out of jealousy, acting out of anything negative, doesn't really change the situation that you're in, but it makes that situation much worse and worse, because instead of making it right, you're trying to find every possible way to bring everything or destroy everything that you're trying to build. So that's a kind of a thought process. Like, I want to get into this business. Is it good for me? And how will this business work for the next 1 year? How will this business work for the next 20 years? How will this business work for the next 5 years? Will I still be proud of myself to get myself in this business, or is it something that later it will land me into bigger problems? I just got in because I saw my friends making profits within a very short time, and I thought this is the best business I should get myself in, or I should put I should invest in, or I should put my finances and my time in. Most of the time, people, we are influenced by what we see happen to our brothers and sisters, in whatever sector that you want to get yourself in. If it's a business and you're seeing it working much better for them, you will want to go do the same business because you feel you should also be getting the same amount of money that that person is getting in that business. But what if the money that you seeing these people get in that business is not like, it's not a real thing, it's just a way to fool people around, but there's something great that is happening behind, and you deeply get yourself in that business. You're in that business for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, but nothing is happening. Like, you're not selling the same way your neighbor is selling or your friend is selling and all that, and you start regretting, why did I get myself into this business? Then going to ask that friend, the friend tells you, no, there is something more that you need to do, and something more that you need to do for you to get that, it's more sinister than you thought it is. What will you do? That is why, before you make that decision, kindly have enough information around you. Go get more information around and about that thing, so that when you make that decision, you're making more of a clearer decision without any regret later that you wish you could have not done whatever you did. That is it for now. That is it for now. Part 1 of decision making. We get part 2 on that and have some real life experiences in decision making and all that. The bush episodes, here we are, and your host is Alan. Kindly subscribe, support us, subscribe, watch, like, and share. That is the only way you can support us in this. Thank you.